do a quick audio test for those of you that are still with us on today's live, IHKC Live. Give us a thumbs up in the comments, not on the post, but thumbs up in the comments if you can hear us. We just want to make sure that we're good to go. Lauren is still moderating the comments.
I'm still hiding
behind the scenes, but you can hear her now because I think we've got the audio fixed.
We got a thumbs up from Trina and Lene. All right.
We got the audio fixed, which means I get to do my awesome welcome all over again.
First year was just a test run. It's all good.
Absolutely. You got to do a test run, right?
That's right.
Thank you all again for hanging with us and for checking out today's IHKC Live. And happy Juneteenth. We are, again, broadcasting from the beautiful Plex Pod Westport Commons. And Lauren is hiding behind the scenes today. But I am Cynthia Fales. I am the founder of Launch Crate Programming Publishing. Here we go. And the IHKC Director of Programming. We're going to get it straight.
Did you just cross the streams a little bit?
Crossed the streams.
Yeah.
You know they cross everywhere, Lauren. That's how it works. But I am super, super excited to be sitting down today with mom, wife, and community impact maker, Miss Courtney Thomas. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us for this. I am super excited to chat about the ripples that you've made in and around Kansas City. But we always like to start in light and then dig in a little bit deeper as we go. So keeping that in vein, which child is your favorite and why? Just kidding, don't answer that.
Is he going to get shirts to my children?
That was just mean.
No, don't answer that. Okay. Before we get into these light questions, those of you that are watching us live and on the replay, make sure that you say hello, drop your name, your questions in the chat so that we can answer those questions.
That's what I'm here
as
for.
We go. Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, we're going to start with some would you rather questions.
Okay.
And I'm hoping these are lighter than the last question.
Okay.
I asked you.
Perfect.
Would you rather explore space or the ocean?
Ooh, the ocean.
Ooh. Why the
Ooh.
ocean?
Water is my happy place.
Is it? Yeah, mine too. I love that.
Same.
Okay. Are you a reader?
Do audiobooks count?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay. So then I'm going to modify this question. Would you never listen to another audiobook again, or would you never watch another movie?
Ooh, that is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I have developed a deep love for Netflix during COVID. I used to never watch TV. And now I love to watch shows. It's my wind down at night. So I think I'd have to say adios to the audiobook.
Okay. You're gone. We'll throw them out. Okay. Two more would you rather questions.
Okay.
Would you rather give up your smartphone or computer?
Computer.
Computer. That was fast.
Computer. Done.
Yeah, smartphone we're pretty tethered to those.
And now you can do so many things. You can, in theory, can be your computer. It had to be.
I want to let y'all know that Linnea chimed in and said, the ocean is my happy place too. I like her. You're liked, Courtney. I mean, not surprising.
I love it. Okay. Last would you rather question. Would you rather be slightly late or super early?
I would rather be super early, but I am frequently slightly late.
My guess is because you're so busy.
I think I can cram more things
Yeah.
into a short period of time than is humanly possible. Oh, sure, I can do that one more thing.
Right.
Or that I can speed. That's also what I tell myself.
Yeah.
Maybe the police won't be out today and I won't get a ticket. So I could always go just a little faster.
I feel like a lot of us are in that same boat.
Yeah. Would love to be early, mostly slightly late.
Yeah.
I feel like the intention part, like that's
Right?
important.
Counts for something.
That's what we have to tell ourselves.
Okay. A little bit deeper. What would you refuse to give up, even if someone offered you $10 million to do so?
I would refuse to give up who I am, like my authenticity, my integrity and values are never up for sale.
Yeah.
So I would never give up being me.
Okay. I love that answer. Lauren, I feel like we're going to ask you that in one of these. Just
All right.
log that in your notes.
I really, really love that I have a heads up, so I'm not taken by surprise.
I did ask my grandmother that question though about me when I was younger.
Yeah.
I'll never forget standing at the bottom of the stairs and I said, Grandmama, if somebody told you they'd give you $1 million for me, would you give me to them?
Mhm.
I mean, I was 6, like, so.
Were you a precocious child in general, or just in this one situation?
It's pretty common for me to ask these complex questions.
Yeah.
Just, no, I would never get $1 million wouldn't be enough.
Mm-hmm.
$2 million?
35.
Start raising
Right.
I mean, it is a pretty high bar. You are pretty amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay. What have you done in the last 6 months that you're most proud of?
Ooh. We have, on a personal note or professional?
Either one.
Okay. The last 6 months that I am most proud of, I would say navigating the unexpected and uncharted waters of my husband's cancer diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
And he has come out on top, and all the while I still worked, I still took care of my family. So I think I'm pretty proud of where we are in that space.
Yeah, something to definitely be proud of.
Yeah.
Yeah, my goodness. Okay. We're going deep.
Well, and I want you to know that the whole IHKC leadership team, like, we were pulling for you so hard. Like, that was just such a difficult thing that you navigated with such grace.
Well, I appreciate that. I refer to it, so I'm going to write a book.
Okay.
So I made this public proclamation in January of this year and said, I'm going to write a book called Everybody's Healing from Something.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways that I describe my feelings over the last several months is this is a roller coaster ride that you never stood in line to get on.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, and you just think about how many people are navigating all the tough things every day.
Every day. And we have no idea that they're navigating through them.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Goodness. Interested in hearing your answer to this next question. Just after hearing the conversations that you had with your grandmother, what choice has had the greatest impact on your life thus far?
Moving to Kansas City.
Yeah.
So I'm from North Carolina.
Okay.
I will celebrate my 20-year anniversary of calling Kansas City home in September.
Okay.
My grandmother raised me. I never, ever, ever thought that I could be away from her.
Yeah.
And those were the biggest, boldest, most impactful steps I've ever taken in my life. And she was so proud and happy for me to be here. And I am so happy and proud to be here as well. Yeah.
So what brought you from North Carolina to Kansas City?
2 things. One, a boy, and number 2, animals.
Okay.
So my job, I was I got a job at Wayside Waves.
Mm-hmm.
And I applied actually for their Vice President Chief Operating Officer position. I was 25 years old. I had just a few years of business operations under my belt, and I thought, they'll never pay attention to me. And I actually happened to be the first person they interviewed.
Oh, wow.
They narrowed it down to 2 candidates. I was one of them. They hired the woman with 30 years experience. It made total sense.
Mm-hmm.
And they called me back and said, but we still want you on our team. So would you consider a different job? So I led their volunteer management, PR, special events for a little over a year. And then I moved into that job that I had applied for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Courtney, that's like 5 things at once.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Like, that's not a job. That's a life.
That's a huge leap of faith.
Yeah, it was, but yeah, so they told me, they said, well, when can you start?
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we'd love for you to come in 2 weeks. And I said, hey, hold up. I got to move halfway across the country and I don't know where to live. I don't know if we make it 3 weeks, it's a deal.
Yeah.
So that's what we did.
Yeah.
I packed up my whole life and my 4 dogs came here.
Awesome. Very cool. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing now in your 9 to 5.
Oh, I am so privileged and honored to be a part of New House, which is Kansas City's first and oldest domestic violence shelter.
Okay.
I started my role 75 days before the pandemic hit.
No.
We had to shift into this unheard of space of teletherapy and work from home, and not one person within our organization had a company issued laptop.
Wow.
We, are a safe place for people that are escaping violence in the home.
Mm-hmm.
We serve people of all genders, women, men, children, non-binary individuals and provide them with a safe place. We provide them with healing therapy, 3 hot meals a day, case management, and support to move into transitional housing and getting a job. And we offer the only full-time early education center for children birth through age 5. It's a trauma-informed classroom that is centered around conscious discipline and creative curriculum principles. And then we also have an education innovation center for children kindergarten through high school, an age mixed classroom with a master's level teacher.
Oh my goodness.
And our focus is to help reverse the developmental impacts of trauma for kids so that they can truly be a part of breaking the cycle.
Yeah, that's powerful work.
We're an 88-bed facility. We're located in the urban core.
Mm-hmm.
We are within a 3.5-mile radius of where 80% of the violent crime that happens or is prosecuted in Jackson County Prosecutor's Office occurs. So we're right where the community needs us most. But most importantly, I share that as a differentiator for us, but I also share that as a way to dispel the myth around domestic violence, in that the public's perception is it impacts only a certain gender or a certain socioeconomic class or race or person who has a certain educational background. And the reality is domestic violence knows no boundaries.
Absolutely. So this is very heart-centered work that you're doing. So is the work that led you to Kansas City as well.
Yes.
Would you say you have a heart of service?
It's the only thing I know.
Yeah.
And in fact, there have been a couple of times in my life that I've toyed with the idea of stepping out of the nonprofit space and into the for-profit space. And if I were to be super vulnerable and transparent, the nonprofit arena is not a place where a person that has, that their talent is paid for at the level that they would be paid out in the general marketplace, right?
Cynthia and I are both like, preach!
Right.
Yeah, right. And so thinking about, I'm raising 3 children. My husband is a federal employee, so his threshold is his threshold. Like, it doesn't matter how hard he works or what he does, he can cap out at this salary level, period.
Right.
And so thinking about, is there an opportunity for me to actually earn the salary that I am worth, that then gives me more time to give back to the causes that I care about and more financial resources to give to the organizations that I care about? And I've toyed with it. It just wouldn't work for me, I don't think. I mean, my heart is in being able to physically see the transformation and change in someone's life, and being able to stand beside them in that process. And so animal welfare was a passion of mine for 20 years, so veterinary medicine and animal welfare, and then leading Central Exchange, which is a professional development organization for women, and then Newhouse. And sometimes I think people struggle. There are tons of parallels between the work I did in animal welfare and what we're doing at Newhouse, because one obviously is person, animals, but both have experienced trauma. Both, in many cases, have been abused. They're homeless. They're in need of a new home. They're in need of medical attention or behavioral remediation or support. And so there's so many parallels between that work. Behind every pet we serve is a person. We know the healing benefits of pets to support and domestic violence victims as they are recovering. And most importantly, domestic violence is a community health issue, and we need people to see it that way. It's something that for so long, for generations and decades, people say what happens at home stays at home. But 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men will experience some form of domestic violence in their lifetime. So that means someone that we all know or love.
Multiple people that we know and love.
Yes. Or even ourselves have experienced that.
So we do have a comment from Lene Clayton Robinson, one of the co-founders of Bliss.
Are you reading? Lene, are you reading my cards? Because that's the next question.
All right. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and ask it. How can we, the community, support Newhouse?
Oh, I love that question. Thank you so much for asking it. There are so many ways that people can get behind and support our mission. We are always looking for volunteers. perhaps you want to come on site and work the hotline or the crisis center, or you love and have a passion for children and you want to be a part of our summer camps. That's one of the things that we're doing right now. We have a 6-week camp for the children in shelter. We have over 60 people in shelter right now, and 43 of them are children.
Wow.
Yes. There's something for everyone from the volunteer standpoint, but there are a number of items on our Amazon wish list that are essential to the residents that we are serving. Hygiene products, diapers, snacks, sheets, towels, shoes, bathing suits, things that we all take for granted, because when we go home and we take a shower, we have what we need. Or when we, feminine hygiene products, we have a great partnership with Giving Hope and Help. And so Jessica is wonderful to help ensure that we never have a need for feminine hygiene products, but also monthly donors. I would say that is an area where people can really have the greatest impact. If you think about a $10 a month gift, so just give $10 a month, that provides bedtime snacks for kids. Every night we serve 3 hot meals a day, and we provide snacks twice a day.
Awesome.
And
so that's just a couple of cups of coffee.
Exactly. Yeah. And at our breakfast last week, I just shared the statistic. There are over 2 million people in the Kansas City metro, and if each person gave $1, just $1, it would fund our mission for almost an entire year. If people gave $1 a month, it would fund our mission for about 18 months and allow us to invest some money in more preventative services. So I think to answer the question more directly, a person may not be able to write $1,000 check or a $10,000 check, or be able to donate 4 hours a week of volunteer service, but everybody can do something.
Absolutely.
And even using their social media platform to say, hey, today I learned about New House, Kansas City's oldest domestic violence shelter. I want you to know about them too, and just share a link to our website.
Absolutely.
Is a powerful way to get involved.
Are you still doing the yard signs?
We do have some yard signs left, but we are not, I don't know about the campaign.
Okay.
If it's still, I should know the answer to that.
I've had people come over to my house and ask about my yard sign.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Anybody wants a yard sign?
They're like, what's this about?
Yeah. Our gala is in November, so if you are a person that loves attending events, if you love planning events, want to volunteer at that event, it's the second weekend in November at the Lowe's Hotel. It is a fabulous time.
Awesome.
That's a way that people can get involved too.
Okay.
All right, so Linnea says on it, which if you know Linnea, like that woman, if she manifests it into being, she's on it. We also have from Rachel Blankenship, who's another awesome member. Yep. I had to step away for a second, so if this was answered, I'm sorry. But how can people bring or make donations? A couple of the girls from my table asked how they could bring donated items.
Awesome. Rachel, if you want to reach out to me, Courtney at newhousekc.org, I will get you connected to Ashley and Caitlin, who can schedule a time for those drop-off items. And we thank you for that. Thank you so much. It's wonderful.
So sweet.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yes.
Another way that can help is if you not only like this video, but you share this video so that people can hear Courtney talk about the awesome work that they're doing at New House. And Courtney, if you have any links that you want us to include in this video so that people have quick access, we can add those in after the fact.
Perfect. Thank you. Our website is newhousesKC.org.
Okay. Lauren, can you add that to the chat?
I can.
Awesome. Thank you, Madam Moderator.
I'm on it. I'm not as good at this as Cynthia is, but I'm working my way through. She's like, yes, this is true. You are absolute shite at it. Thank you.
Okay. Courtney, you and your heart of service it oozes from your pores. It oozes from your pores. And earlier you talked about sifting through the options and whether or not to make the leap to for-profit work from nonprofit work. And you talked about other ways to contribute to organizations in and around the Kansas City area that have your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk about some of those organizations?
I love child welfare issues, so anything that has to do with helping our children live a better life and raise attention to that. It is definitely sort of an unspoken thing.
Yeah.
And so I love the work that CASA does. I love the work that Operation Breakthrough does to support families in our community. Obviously, Innovate Her KC.
Hey, I was waiting. I was
feel
waiting.
passionate. I wasn't sure, is this the time? And I really feel passionate about that.
Yeah.
Ronald McDonald House, Children's Mercy, those organizations are really important to me. I'd say that those are probably top of the list. There's so many extraordinary organizations that are making such a difference. And I really love to attend their events to share their story, share their message, and help get the word out. There's so many ways that people can help, that organizations can collaborate to have a bigger, broader impact in the lives of people who live here. So on the nonprofit side, that's what I would share. And then certainly my love for Innovate Her and for Lauren is big. It's super big.
I love you
Capital
too,
B-I-G.
Courtney. You're the best, Courtney.
So talk to us a little bit about the capacity in which you serve for IHKC.
I am really honored to serve as the vice chair of the board for Innovate Her KC. And Lauren and I have had this conversation a couple times before, but I'll just share this now. So as the CEO of Central Exchange, this 40-year-old legacy Kansas City icon organization for women's leadership development, I had an opportunity to serve there for almost 3 years. And I remember when somebody's grinding the coffee. I remember when Warren started Innovate Her KC, and I said to our board and I said to our team, better watch out for that.
Yeah.
Like, this is some magic that is happening
Yeah.
here. And what Lauren has been able to build and the community that she's been able to bring together, I don't think any other organization has replicated that historically. And I think anyone who tries would struggle to replicate that in the future.
Yeah.
Just the broad scope and span of such a diverse population of women that she has brought together to create access points for one another and to lift each other up, and how it's helped women accelerate their own dreams, whether that is their entrepreneurial focus, whether that is, as a woman, I want to have more confidence in myself to ask for the things that I want or need. Having the platform to go where you know it's a safe space, to ask a question, to ask for a referral, to share an idea, or to say, hey, who wants to come along with me? Guess what's happening in Kansas City this weekend?
Yeah.
And just the relationships and women who would never, ever have had the opportunity for their paths to cross had it not been for this organization. That by itself is magic.
Yeah, that's a reflection of the way that Lauren navigates through the world as well.
Yeah.
And the type of, don't cry.
I am crying. It's too late now.
Just let it out. But it's a reflection of the type of community that not only that you have built, but that you want to see, right?
And the human that you are.
Absolutely.
The human that you are. Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's funny, as we were sitting here getting ready for this conversation, I thought to myself, how fun would it be to post something and ask the question, who does Lauren not know? Because Lauren, I will ask the question, hey, do you know anybody that, oh yeah, 14 people later, you can connect with this person or ask this person. And so I was thinking to myself, how do we fill the gap? Like, who does Lauren not know?
Right.
And would anybody be able to come up with someone that she actually doesn't know?
I don't know.
My mental Rolodex game is pretty strong.
It's pretty.
For folks playing at home, we definitely got like a couple. Such a great community from Lanisha Frazier. She knows everybody. Go ahead, Lauren. I am kind of just sitting over here crying, happy tears, because I think extremely well of the two women that you see before you. And I don't know, hearing them say nice things about this organization makes me happy. I'm just going to shut up now.
We have a lot to be proud of.
Absolutely.
We have worked so hard. Literal blood, sweat, and tears.
I just love you all.
But think about what IHKC can be, like as we continue to elevate the mission and its purpose. I mean, when you think about corporate, where a moment ago we're thinking, okay, do you want to stand in the nonprofit space or step over the line into the for-profit space? Right. Every corporation in Kansas City that is not connected to this organization is missing out. Yeah. Like this should be the pipeline for talent. This should be the pipeline for internal programming and affinity groups that organizations want to advance, accelerate, do better. Let's talk about that. Do better. Organizations want to do better. There's a lot we can do to be better, and this is the pipeline to do that. And so corporations should be knocking on the door to say, hey, I want to meet with Lauren. I want to learn more about what this organization is doing, and better yet, I want to support the work that you're doing to continue to advance women in our community. So you hear me?
That like I almost like stood up and just started wildly applauding. I'm like, yes, it's true.
Who's gonna be first? Right. Who's gonna be first to step in front of the line?
So we have a comment. I'm going to show Innovator as a game changer, just so you know. And please forgive my inevitable mispronunciation, but Chimera Calloway Randolph posted about you can contact our volunteer manager at Newhouse and provided the information. So she's doing awesome work to connect people with your organization.
Yeah, Chimera works it.
Very cool.
Yay, thank you.
What would you love to see next in an ideal world for IHKC? What would you love to see next?
I would love to see that there is some integration into organization's culture that is bred and led through Innovate Her KC. I mean, I think that if we just were to talk about the DEI space for a moment, especially during the social injustice that has happened over the last centuries, right? So that's a different conversation, but just over the time of George Floyd and so many things thereafter, you saw organizations saying, oh wait, hold on, I care about this, and so I'm going to hire someone to come and work in this DEI and B space. The end. I'm going to hire the role, and we're going to call it good, and we're going to check the box, and we're going to be performative, and we aren't going to make the investment in change. Like we aren't going to invest in the department and give them any resources or give them a team or give them a staff, but we expect them to be able to push through and generate transformational change from the inside out. It doesn't happen that way. And we all can see right through that. The same way, I think, with organizations, although different, I don't want to compare the two exactly, but many similarities in the investment that companies say that they're making in women or eliminating the gender gap, whether it be in hiring practices, just diversity at the board table, or in the wage gap. And I don't think that they're making the investment that they should be or could be. This organization is the platform to help them be better at those things. So you don't have to go reinvent the wheel yourself. Leverage the pipeline that already exists here. Let Innovate Her come in and help you build the program that you need.
I think one of the things, or one of the ways that I think Innovate Her could help in that capacity is by helping people to understand what they don't necessarily know, exposing those blind spots. I continue to learn about my own blind spots through the work that Innovate Her is doing, and through some other avenues as well. But I feel like folks who are interested in creating sustainable change have some blind spots that are just by nature of being an American in this society, they are unaware of, that teams like Innovate Her can help to remedy. So
100% agree. You're spot on.
Okay. So thinking again from the lens of board member, how can the community help IHKC?
Well, first of all, if you're not a member, you need to join. So it's first steps. Everybody can start somewhere. So joining Innovate Her KC is all about raising awareness. So using your mouth to tell a story, using your words to tell a story of if you've had a positive experience, if you've made a connection that has either accelerated you from a personal perspective or helped to advance your business, don't sit in silence about it. Celebrate what has happened and let people know how that connection came to be. We need corporate sponsors who can step up to the plate and sponsor some of our events, from the panel interviews that happen around areas of expertise, whether it's a happy hour event where we're just bringing women together and connecting them. There's a way for your company and your organization to benefit from that as a sponsor. So where else is your name going to be placed in front of such a diverse pool of people? Maybe you have your name on the side of the stadium, Arrowhead Stadium, but women are over here changing the world. Right. So you want
5,000 plus women.
These are 5,400 decision makers, leaders, people who are enacting radical positive change.
Absolutely.
Highly passionate, invested people.
As I always love, I was thinking the other day as I was going to post something, okay, should I say this? Should I not say this? Well, Lauren said it, so I should say it. I could say it. But, the way that we often describe Innovator is badass women doing kick-ass things.
Yeah. Sometimes Lauren doesn't think before she speaks, and I have edited myself with the whole ass thing. I'm like, sometimes it's not the audience, but in general, Innovator KC is populated by badass women doing kick-ass things.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's also important to say people of all genders. That we do need men to be ambassadors and allies and supporters of women, for sure, and mentoring them and helping to advance them. We do want to recognize people that don't identify with one gender or the other, who are a part of our family here at Innovator KC. So it's really a place where all people feel like they belong, which is the goal. We want men to feel like they have a seat at the table, to be the voice to help accelerate women. We want
one of our foundational ethics is and I'm so sorry to interrupt, and I know I'm supposed to be the quiet voice of God over here, but there's just so much I want to say. But one of our foundational ethics, and we have 5 of them, inclusion and low barrier to entry are the 2 that I always talk about. But one of them is we elevate women without pushing other groups, marginalized groups down, and that includes men. Like, men are a part of this journey. Some of my greatest mentors and supporters have been guys, so let's, to your point, let's make sure everybody has a seat at the table. Really quickly, Courtney, we do have Irina Rice. She popped in and said, "So great to see you, Courtney." And then we had Lene Clayton Robinson, who I just love her on these so much. She's so sweet. Made connections, have had positive impacts, corporate sponsor. I love Innovator KC, in case you haven't noticed. So I just wanted to point out that she said that. But then, speaking really quickly, because I think that this is a part of the story that sometimes gets missed. Innovator KC, we serve women and we center the experiences of women, but we absolutely love to welcome and hear the perspectives and voices of folks who are from other marginalized gender identities. Like that's actually really important to us. And so I just wanted to blanket statement of fact. We love women, but we really just love people, and we invite you to join us no matter how you identify.
Pro-human.
Yeah, and then another way to celebrate and promote and pump up women, you'll have to tell me the dates because I can't remember it, but I remember how much fun. Where are we? Downstairs.
Yeah.
This way, not that way. The Innovator Awards.
Yeah.
And so you're going to be looking for nominations, right?
We're going to be looking for nominations. I think we launched those in July. And then we are currently looking for sponsors for the Innovator Awards. Last year we took it virtual, but we really want to try that in-person thing. We already have, some promises from area organizations. Like, one organization wants to have robots walking around during the event. I'm like, yeah, let's just do that. Last year when we were still thinking we were going to do in person, we were thinking about having a fire breather because Girl on Fire was kind of our theme. I say all of that to say this: we're going to need really, really strong sponsors to come in and help us put on a totally amazing event. So if you, or if you know someone who is potentially interested in sponsoring the Innovator Awards, please reach out to me, Lauren, Lauren, at innovateherkc.com. And now I'm going to shut up. That was my commercial.
Awesome. Courtney, is there anything else that you wanted to chat about today before we roll out some announcements related to IHKC?
I think I would say to anybody who is, listening and is standing in their own space, COVID has changed all of us. I mean, it doesn't matter how strong you were before. It doesn't matter what job you had. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. I think we've all learned new things about ourselves, new ways to think about the tough stuff, new ways to push through. And I just want to encourage everybody to just continue to have grace with themselves. I think we're all still trying to navigate what does pulling out of this look like?
Absolutely.
And I don't think that none of us should hold on to the expectation that the picture's going to look the same as it did before. And in fact, in so many ways, I think it looks better than it did before. But in the last couple of weeks, have just talked to so many people who fared well during the beginning of COVID and now are starting to hit those downward slumps and feelings of burnout. And I would say I have been one of those people that has experienced it on the tail end, not really on the front end of that. And just remembering, even though I say this about myself a lot, and I'm sure it applies to other people, I have trained the universe to expect superhuman results from me because that's all I have delivered. But being just a superhuman, and I told this to one of my team members last week, just being a superhuman is enough. And so I want everybody to just continue to give themselves grace, do what they do best. Remember that you can push through difficult things that maybe you don't feel you have the energy to do some days, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, but most importantly, there's light right here inside of you.
Absolutely. Space and grace, friends. Space and grace.
Which Cynthia has an awesome t-shirt that says exactly that. If you go to Launch Crate,
I don't know.
Where are you selling it?
I don't know where it is.
Oh, all right.
I'll drop it.
She's got a t-shirt somewhere, but it's really cool.
Courtney, thank you for joining us for this chat today. This was amazing.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And Innovators, a few quick announcements. Girls Guide to Business is coming up this Wednesday. There's some awesome authors who are going to be sharing their story. Katina Taylor and I will be moderating a panel discussion. So if you're interested in information about writing or publishing, make sure that you check out IHKC's social feed so that you can find the details about that event. Will be going live. July 5th, we'll have a virtual happy hour. So make sure again that you follow IHKC for all of those announcements. And last but not least, on August 2nd, the Kansas City Auction Company is hosting all female artists, and there is a sneak peek of the work and the artists themselves. So more details to come on that. Pretty much just make sure that you like and follow all things IHKC, and be sure to share this video so that you can create some ripples of your own.
Absolutely. And you did have your love a man pop in and say that he was very glad that he was able to catch some of this conversation live. And that is a nice segue to a thank you for your support. We love supportive people in our lives with Innovate Her KC, and a bunch of the folks who checked in today count amongst that number, but thank you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.